Hello everybody and welcome, I am Bricker Boom, and today we're going to be using the Loch Ness Monster, or rather, Lapras, to see if I can beat Pokemon FireRed with only using a Lapras. Lapras is a pretty decent Pokemon with a high HP stat, mediocre physical attributes, and a not-so-great speed. However, it's also weak to 4 types of Pokemon given its dual typing. Overall, I think that we'll be able to beat the game well below level 100. At the end of the day, it's still a very solid Pokemon, and one that I've been excited to use for a long time now, but I just kept putting it off for some reason. For this particular run, we'll be giving the rival Bulbasaur, since that'll likely be the hardest for us to face at the end. But before we get into all that, a quick mention of the rules is I can only use Lapras in battle, but I can and will use other Pokemon for HM use. I can't use items in battle, but I can use them in between battles. And finally, I do allow rare candies to level up if I find myself hitting a brick wall and can't get past a certain point of the game. Some Pokemon rely on that more than others. As we grab our Lapras, we have a mild nature, which means that we have a higher special attack, but our defense is lowered. Honestly, that's fine, given the fact that our defense isn't the best out there. We can't really tank too many attacks to begin with, but a little bit higher special could prove useful as we get into some of the specially tanky Pokemon. But let's go ahead and pop into the first of many battles that we'll be covering today. Now, for this particular battle, we only have Water Gun, and they only have Tackle, so while this footage is playing, if you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. At the time of writing this, I'm 8 away from 1,000, though at the time of recording this, I'm now at 1,000, so thank you, and about 1,500 watch hours away from being able to apply for partner. Also, we win the battle with plenty of HP to spare. Compared to previous runs when we only had Bubble, Water Gun is much better, and we have better stats to survive long enough to actually win this battle for that early EXP. Now, we can actually move through the beginning of the game. I don't think Brock will be any kind of problem for us, because typically, unless you have a direct type disadvantage or just no super effective moves whatsoever, he's a cakewalk. Even so, I still want to go ahead and get as many early EXP points as possible, so we actually go back and do fight the optional rival fight. After Brock, it'll end up being Misty, and I don't know how well that particular battle will go, but no sense in dwelling in on the future, because we have some battles that we can cover right now. The rival starts with Pidgey, and we open with Water Gun, taking it to below half as Tackle connects, and then we take it down with plenty of HP to spare. Bulbasaur is next, and even though Water Gun isn't doing super effective damage, we're still able to outdo the damage it's doing to us. Thankfully, it decides to use Growl a few times, and that's no issue for us, given the fact that we're relying on our special attack, so we take it down without too much of an issue. So, after that, we backtrack through the forest and then go to fight Brock. Brock first starts with Geodude, and we open with Water Gun, taking it down in one shot, and then after that it's Onix, and its speed stat is really the only passable stat that it has, and it opens with Bind before a Water Gun connects, and that takes it out. That probably went about like I thought it would, if I'm going to be honest. For the most part, our biggest worries will be Surge and then Erica, but truthfully, given the fact that there are plenty of trainers to face between now and then, I don't think any of them will be too big of an issue. Even so, we'll still go ahead and take on a good portion of the trainers on the route ahead. Granted, a lot of them are mandatory anyway, so we're able to get some levels out of the way. We make sure to go ahead and grab the Dome Fossil, since that's the best and only fossil that really should be out there, and then go into Cerulean City. We have a couple options, but the main one that I want to see is if we can beat Misty. If we can't, I think we can beat the rival to the north, but let's go ahead and take a look. With Misty, she first sends out Staryu, and it outspeeds and uses Harden as we Body Slam to take it to half. It uses Tackle, and we use Mist because I definitely thought it acted like Safeguard. It does not. It lands a weak hit, and then we take it out. Starmie is next, and we get hit with Swift for decent damage, and do about a third with Body Slam and paralyze it. We do outspeed and take it to yellow, and then take it to red, and then Starmie begins recovering. We end up going into a long back and forth despite the fact that it's paralyzed. It really doesn't stay paralyzed too often because why would it? We get close to fainting it multiple times, but it does end up winning the war of attrition because we're just not doing enough damage, so we eventually fall. So with that, we go ahead and go to the rival fight and see how things go. Pidgeotto is first, and we use Mist to avoid the Sand attacks. We then swap over to Body Slam and take it to Red as we avoid Sand attack again. We get Quick Attack and then take it down. Bulbasaur is next, and we take it to Yellow as it lands a Leech Seed, putting us on a timer. We continue with Body Slam and take it down. Abra is out and can't do anything, so it goes down to a single Body Slam. Rattata is out and does decent damage with Quick Attack, but then we take it down. After that, since we got a level up, we do go back to Misty, and this time we can actually outdo the damage it recovers, so this time the battle goes much better for us and it goes down. With Misty and the rival both done, we go ahead and go through the route to the north, taking out the trainers along the way, but with Cerulean City basically done and over with, we're able to go through the trainers on the ship. Honestly, given the fact that we haven't had too many struggles with Lapras, I don't do too many of the ship battles. I just go and get through some of the items that we need, rather than fighting the vast majority of them. Worst case scenario, if we still can't beat Surge, there's trainers to the right, and then we can act like we're heading towards the Dark Cave, and there's plenty of trainers that we can take on there, one of which has 2 evolved Beedrill, so with that actually provides some pretty good EXP. But for now, let's go ahead and see how we do against the rival on the ship. The rival starts off with Pidgeotto, and we open with Mist, due to it having Sand Attack. Gust connects for a little, and we Body Slam, taking it to Red as Tackle connects, and then we take it out. Ivysaur is next, and could be a problem, but we Paralyze it. The Paralyze immediately pays off, and it's fully paralyzed, and then we take it down. Raticate is out, and one shot is enough, and then finally it's Kadabra, and it does outspeed us, and uses Disable, then Kinesis. Thankfully, we can still connect a couple of times to be able to go ahead, take it down, and win the battle. After that, we give the grown man a back rub, and then we can go to the gym. We get the trash can puzzle without too much of an issue, and then see how things go with Surge. Surge sends out Voltorb, and we get Screeched as we open with Water Pulse, taking it out in one shot. Next up is Pikachu, and we use Water Pulse as well, taking it down, thankfully avoiding static in the process. Raichu, of course, opens up with Thunder Wave, but we can still attack and take it to around half. Raichu double teams, and we Water Pulse again, knocking it out for a pretty simple battle. At this point, getting through the Dark Cave isn't really a hard thing for us. We have access to some pretty solid moves, and with the game beginning to open up, we'll be getting access to a lot more moves. Ice Beam is going to be huge for us, and Return is good for the physical damage. Paralysis with Body Slam is a good combo, but it's just kind of hard to predict that happening. On a side note, if I have my way, I'll be able to do a full month of spooky Pokemon for the month of October. I have a Haunter, Gourgeist, Umbreon, and Espeon, though admittedly Espeon isn't the spookiest Pokemon, but I still think it'll count. And then if I can swing it, a Giratina as well, since, he's kind of the devil. Also, I've never actually got to use a Giratina, so that'll be kind of fun, but we'll kind of see where things lead us. In the meantime, though, we're going to go ahead and fight Erica and see how things go. Victory Bell is first, and we open up with Ice Beam, taking it down in one shot. Next up is Tangela, a Pokemon that I really want to avoid doing a solo run with, and this is why, because it goes down in one shot as well. Last but not least is Vileplume, and we Ice Beam, taking it down and winning the battle with a clean victory. The next battle is going to be against Giovanni, and I have to imagine that this will probably go the same way. Giovanni can be a threat if we don't have proper typing, but given the fact that we have Lapras, well, just... Giovanni first sends out Onix, and we use Water Pulse, taking it down in one shot. Next up is Rhyhorn, and it goes down in one shot. Last is Kangaskhan, and it opens with Mega Punch, doing decent damage. And we Body Slam and Paralyze it. We Body Slam again, taking it to almost red as it only bites. After that, one more Body Slam is enough to take it down and win us the battle. With that done, we can grab the Fly HM, the Pokemon that will be using Fly, and then after that we can head back to the tower and see how things go. The rival first sends out Pidgeotto, and we open up with Body Slam, taking it to red and paralyzing it. After that, we can outspeed and take it down. Next up is Ivysaur, and we swap over to Ice Beam, taking it down. Gyarados is next, and it's also an easy one-shot, and that was the Pokemon I was most worried about. So with the biggest threats out of the way, the rest of his team goes down without too much trouble. Admittedly, that's one of the easier rival battles, especially for this point in the game. To kind of shift topics, or rather to focus on Lapras for a little bit, honestly, I wish I could have used this more. For this particular game, as far as I can know, you can only get it at Silphco after you've beaten the rival. Thankfully, that's right before a couple gyms that it's going to be mostly good against, but that's still so late in the game. Then in Gen 2, you can find it on the lowest floor of Union Cave, only on Fridays, meaning it's also incredibly limited even there. As an actual Pokemon to use, it's kind of great. It's got bulk, it's got attack, and it's got a decent moveset. Safari Zone Scramble is something that I'll continue to show footage of, but probably won't be bringing it up in the script unless something really cool happens or we get the same thing a lot. But to guess on the back half of the game as we go into Koga's gym, I don't think that we'll have issues aside from maybe Blaine due to our dual typing, Lorelei, and then Bruno's fighting types, but for now, we have to fight Koga. Koga first starts with coughing, and we can open with a body slam, taking it to half and paralyzing it, and we get an immediate payoff before taking it down. Muck is next, and we use body slam again as it uses minimize. Body slam takes it to yellow as it uses toxic, putting us on a timer. After that, we can take it down. His next coughing is out, and we swap to Ice Beam for the stab damage, and that gets us an easy one-shot. Last but not least is Wheezing as toxic damage ramps up, and we use Ice Beam, taking it to yellow as it uses Smoke Screen. We miss Ice Beam, and Sludge does solid damage, and then Poison takes us out. The next battle, we just use Ice Beam for the stab damage and Body Slam to help paralyze the Muck. Yeah, after that, it's a simple sweep with Ice Beam, winning us another badge. I just apparently decided to make this gym battle much harder than what it actually needed to be. It's fine. Alright, that's one more battle down, and now the main place for us to go right now is Silphco. The good news is, of course, if we can't beat the rival, we have two options. One, of course, is going to Blaine and attempting to battle him. The other option, and probably the easiest, is going through the tower and cleaning it out. There's a small handful of vitamins. There's plenty of trainers to gain a couple levels, so we're not exactly struggling for options here. But just in case we don't have to do either of those things, I want to go ahead and see if we can beat the rival. The rival opens with Pidgeot, and we open with Ice Beam, though it does outspeed with Wing Attack, and we take it down in one shot. Next is Venusaur, and we get hit hard with a crit Razor Leaf, and we use Ice Beam, taking it to red. Not great, because then it just takes us down. A few battles in, and Pidgeot uses Feather Dance, which is fine since we're focusing on our special attack anyway. Then with Venusaur, it puts us to sleep, but we get an early wake up and take it down with Ice Beam. From there, it's a bit of a slugfest with the Gyarados, and we can take it down, though by the time we do, we only have 4 HP remaining. The Growlithe, thankfully, is an easy one-shot, and then last up is Alakazam, and it just keeps trying to use Future Sight, so we can take it down without too much of a problem. We grab the Lapras from the guy inside Sylph, because we don't want ours to be too lonely, and then head for the heal-up, and then after the heal-up, it's time to go ahead and fight Giovanni. Nidorino is first, and we use Water Pulse, taking it to below half as Fury Attack connects. After that, we can take it down. Then, Rhyhorn is out, and we use Water Pulse to take it down as well. Nidoqueen comes out, and we get hit with Poison Sting, but then Ice Beam is able to take it to red. Poison Sting does connect again with a crit, but there was no poison, so I'm good, and we take it out. Last is Kangaskhan, who opens with a Fake Out, and we use Body Slam, taking about a quarter health. Rage doesn't do too much as we hit it again. Mega Punch does a decent bit of damage, and then we can take it out with another Body Slam, winning us the battle. That went, honestly, a little bit better than I would have thought the entirety of the tower went, but let's see if the lucky streak can continue with Sabrina. Also, on the way there, I talked to this dude for the first time, and he was just ready to bust in and fight Team Rocket, apparently. You miss a lot of small things when you play these games over and over for challenge runs, but I'm trying to explore a bit more. Are there any NPCs you recommend talking to? Don't tell me why, just tell me what town and who. But also, if there are NPCs that you enjoy talking to in other video games, let me know who you enjoy talking to and why. If I had to pick one, despite how much she infuriates me, I genuinely find myself enjoying having to talk to Moira from Fallout 3. I shouldn't enjoy talking to Moira, but it does make me laugh every time. On to Sabrina. Kadabra goes down to a body slam, and then Mr. Mime, we get a crit to knock it out. With the Venomoth, we can take it to a sliver with Ice Beam, as she heals up multiple times before it falls. With Alakazam, it hits with Psychic. We hit with Body Slam, and it knocks us all the way into red, as we take it down to win a sloppy, but easy enough of a battle. Now we can go to Cinnabar, and I'm pretty sure with how often I play this, I can get from this place beginning to end in less than 5 minutes, even without the speed up. But with the Burnt Mansion clear, we can go ahead and fight Blaine and see if our ice typing is going to prove fatal for us. Blaine first sends out Growlithe, and we open with Surf, taking it down in one shot. Next up is Ponyta, and it also goes down to a single Surf. Rapidash is next, and it does outspeed, hitting us with Fire Blast, and we hit it with a critical hit Surf to take it down. Finally, it's Arcanine, and we get hit with Fire Blast down to 68 HP, but we can take it down in a single shot as well. That was about as easy as I would have thought, to be honest. If I had to guess, Giovanni is probably going to be just as easy, but there's only one way to find out. Yep, Giovanni is just as easy. Every one of his Pokemon are a pretty easy one-shot sweep. The only Pokemon that outspeeds is Dugtrio, because of course it does, and it ends up going down as well to a single Surf. After that, it's one more fight, and then we can go ahead and go through Victory Road. The rival sends out Pidgeot first, and Wing Attack does a decent bit. We manage to take it out with a single Ice Beam. Rhyhorn is next, so we swap to Surf, taking it out on one shot. Venusaur comes out and uses Sweet Scent, and we hit it with Ice Beam, taking it to yellow. Razor Leaf connects for solid damage, but we can take it out. Gyarados is out and uses Hydro Pump, actually healing us a little bit as we take it to half. It sets up Rain Dance, and we use Ice Beam again, taking it to red and then take it out. Growlithe is out, and with our Surf being boosted, there's no problem in taking it out. Last up is Alakazam, and it uses Disable, disabling our Surf. We swap to Body Slam, taking about a fourth of its health due to the amount of Intimidation drops that we have, and it hits hard with Psychic, taking us out in 2 turns. A few attempts in, and a few vitamins and items later, we tank the Wing Attack and take the Pidgeot down in one go. Rhyhorn is next, and that will always be a one-shot. Venusaur misses its second Razor Leaf, so that's actually why it ends up going down. Both the Gyarados and Growlithe are a one-shot, and the Alakazam disables Surf, so we go for Ice Beam, taking it to yellow, and then the Quick Claw activates to get us the first attack, taking it out and winning the battle. So, as we go through Victory Road, I feel not super great about the Elite Four. Lorelei directly resists most of our attacks, and Bruno can deal super effective damage. After we get past that, I don't think we'll have too many troubles, but I could be wrong. Let's go ahead and attempt the Lorelei fight and see how we do. Lorelei starts with Dugong, and Body Slam isn't doing that much if we're being honest here. We take it down after a heal up, but we do suffer some hits. Cloyster is a physical tank, and she hard switches to Lapras, and it's the body of Battle Slams that we ultimately lose. Even with Return, we're still losing, so some levels later we're still needing a lot of shots to take down Dugong, but we do manage, and at least Cloyster is able to also go down in 2 Surfs. Slowbro keeps putting us to sleep, so it takes just a long time taking it out, but it never really attacks. Jinx puts us to sleep, but it goes down easily enough, and then it's the battle with the Laprases. And even though we get paralyzed and whittled all the way down to 15 HP, we actually take it out. But that's only because of a crit. Had we not got that crit, we would have probably lost again. Now, I've covered quite a few losses in this particular video, so I'm going to just go ahead and skip to the victory on the Bruno fight. Bruno did provide a challenge, like I expected, given the fact that we're weak to fighting moves. This takes us all the way to level 70, and we take the Onix down in one shot. With Hitmonchan, we take it to red, and Bruno heals before we can take it down 2 turns later. Hitmonlee hits us pretty hard, but we can take it down. Next up is Machamp, and we take it to yellow. Then Cross Chop misses, letting us take it down, but barely. Then it's time for Agatha. Gengar is first, and we use Surf, taking it to a Sliver as it uses Double Team. Agatha heals up, and we swap to Ice Beam, hoping to keep it from healing range and technically knock it out, so we actually succeed in that, accidentally. Next is Golbat, and we use Ice Beam again, taking it out. Then there's Arbok, and Surf takes it to a Sliver as it uses Screech. We use Surf again, and that takes it out. Then, Agatha sends out her final Gengar, and it immediately puts us to sleep with Hypnosis. Nightmare connects, but we wake up and take it to Red as the berry takes it out of healing range. Sludge Bomb does some pretty good damage, but we can take it out. Then, there's just the Haunter, and we can take it down with a single Surf, winning the battle. Lance time. Gyarados is first, so we use Ice Beam, taking it to just below half as the bite connects. After that, we can take it down with one more shot. Aerodactyl is next and hits for solid damage, but we use Ice Beam, taking it down in one shot. After that, the two Dragonair are easy one-shots each. His final Pokemon is a Dragonite that is also a one-shot, winning us the battle, and now we only have one more battle to go. The rival first sends out Pidgeot, and Aerial Ace hits for good damage as we take it down in one go. Next up is Rhydon, and it goes down to a single Surf. Venusaur is out and uses Growth as we use Ice Beam, taking it down in one shot. Alakazam is out and we take a decent bit of damage, but we take it to Red. The rival heals and we swap to Return, mostly to avoid any possible disables, taking it to Red. The rival heals again and we use Return again. And you know what happens next? If you guess the rival heals again, you'd be right. Then the Alakazam hits us for good damage before going down. The Gyarados is a bit scary, and we use Ice Beam to take it below half. Thrash connects for solid damage, and then it goes down. His last Pokemon is an Arcanine, and we get hit with Flamethrower, down to 34 HP before a Surf takes out the Doggo to win us the battle and the run. That was a lot of fun, and thank you for watching through this one. I have a few spooky runs planned, like I mentioned, and then after that I'm going to do a Rayquaza run. I think it'll be easy given the fact that Rayquaza is such a powerhouse, and I just wanted to do a simple thank you video. Like I said, at the 3 to 5 minute mark, I don't really know. We're at 1,000 subscribers at the time of recording, and maybe with a couple more when it posts, and our watch hours are steadily climbing up. From the bottom of my heart, thank you, truly. I never thought I'd actually have a situation where I have over 1,000 subscribers, and hundreds of people watching these videos every week, but I can't say thank you too much now because then I won't have anything to talk about with the Rayquaza video. For now, you know the drill. If you liked the video, even if you didn't like the video, hit the like and subscribe button because it really does help me out. And until next time, everybody, peace out.